Welcome to my virtual book launch for Nutrition Brought to Life. It's going to be really hard to not get emotional because I've waited so many years for this moment. This is extraordinary. So yes, here's the book. And first of all, I want to, where are they? I want to really thank Debs and Harvey, who are here tonight. They're my publishers. From Alchimia Publishing, that's their little logo, and it's because of Debs and Harvey that this has happened. And not only that it's happened, but I don't know if you can see from here, some of you have your copies already, but it's not just a book, it's a beautiful book. It's really stunning. And I don't know if you can tell from the light in where I am at the moment because it's evening. Oh yes, you can see there's a spectrum there where all the pages have different colour tints to them, and just the design touches. I really have to thank Harvey and Debs also for her influence with that. There's even a ribbon. I'm so excited about the ribbon. Just lost my place. Never mind. So it's a really beautifully designed book. So thank you to Debs and Harvey for that. The cover design is actually a photograph. This image was created by Kirsten Mayer, who is she's an art photographer. So this is bits of vegetables chopped up and arranged and photographed beautifully, and then Harvey did a great job of threading it through the text to make it look really lovely. So thank you to Kirsten Mayer for that. While I'm saying thank yous, Anna Strickland, I'm not sure if you're here tonight, but Anna took a couple of she did a little photo shoot with me last summer, so she's responsible for the portrait photos. And then Leslie Burdett, I never know how to pronounce your last name, sorry. She did some of the really beautiful, or most of the really beautiful food photography in the book. So between you have helped make this look really stunning, and I'm really grateful to that. So tonight, what I'm going to do this evening is I'm going to talk a little bit, I've got some notes here I keep glancing over to. I'm going to talk a little bit about the book and why I wrote it. I'm going to read a couple of excerpts from the book, and there will be some opportunities for you as well to ask some questions. But first of all, I just want to thank everybody for supporting me. I've had a lot of support. I'm getting wobbly again. Apologies. This isn't going to make it any easier. I've had a lot of support, and thank you to everyone who's bought my book already. That's just amazing. I signed 10 boxes full of books the other week for the publishers to send out, and I think they're sold out already. They're driving down tomorrow so I can sign a few more boxes. So today is the official launch day, and then the book goes on general release next week on the 27th. So that's when places like Waterstones and Foyles and the Book Depository and Amazon and everywhere else that's stocking it will have it in. I've already had some amazing feedback. I'm going to see if I can read some of it out without getting wobbly again. I'm not going to promise anything. Marika Harding, what a beautiful and wonderful book. Thank you for all the time, energy and expertise you've put into it. I can't put it down. Katie McGrory made me cry about 3 times today with her comments. I'm only going to read one of them out though. She said, I have a few good nutrition and recipe books which are informative and the recipes are well loved, but I've started reading Kirsten's book and it's an entirely different kettle of fish. It's so engaging to read, it's easy to understand, it looks glorious, and as for the food photos, it's really, really good. Seek it out. Thank you, Katie. Joe Bale says, so much information, all beautifully presented, looks like a real labour of love. It really has been. It's taken 5 years to write and many more years of research. Linda Jane, she wrote earlier, my book arrived, it's amazing, thank you. First flick through, fascinating, really accessible, informative, warmly written, thorough, exactly the book I need. Oh my word, this book is going to be transformative. Kelly, love the introduction and the way it makes you feel about nourishing yourself, which is brilliant. Maria Sardina, you have a wonderful ability to explain things so clearly and beautifully. It's also just very, very beautiful to look at. I love the ribbon. Good comment. George Huguenet, having been privileged to get hold of this book on the day it came out, I can't recommend it highly enough. It's like having the wonderful support of Kirsten in book form. Leslie, who did the food photography, Kirsten really knows her stuff. The book contains shed loads of valuable and easy to understand info about the science of nutrition, how your body works and how you feel, your hormones, your immune system, and it includes some awesome recipes with awesome pics too, which I totally agree with. And finally, Robin Daly. So Robin's supported my work for a long time and I've supported his. He runs a charity called Yes to Life and a conference as well called yourlifeandcancer.com that I'll be an expert host speaker at in September of this year. So you can find out more about that at yourlifeandcancer.com. He interviewed me recently about the book. He'd read it and he said wonderful things. He said, let me start right up by saying how amazingly comprehensive it is for compact volume. So much more than a regular nutrition book or diet book or recipe book. In fact, it's all of those and a lot more. And I think it manages to tread a line of being scientific without being sciencey. I'm going to stop there. But one of the reasons I wanted to read those out is that so many of those reflected what my intentions were, what I wanted to achieve with this book, what I set out to achieve. So I wanted to write, I've made some notes here, I wanted to write a nutrition book that was kind and non-judgmental. Too many people judge themselves too much about and put too much stress on themselves with their food. I like saying things like food is supposed to nourish you, not punish you, and it sounds a bit like catchphrasy, but I really do mean that. I have far too many people coming into my consultation room really down on themselves about food or scared what they're eating might be doing them some harm, really over worried about food, depriving themselves. And it's that odd thing of we talk about food being good and bad. I don't like the words good and bad. You'll get that once you read the book. But we're not really talking about the food. We're talking about ourselves. We don't say, oh, I ate something really bad today. We say, I've been really bad today. I ate 17 donuts or whatever it was. We judge ourselves more than we judge the food. The food is often just a means of judging ourselves. I wanted to get rid of that. I want this book to be kind. The second thing, I want it to be meaningful. So what I mean by meaningful is that I want it to really showcase what I've found to be useful over the years. I've been a practicing nutritional therapist for 17 years now. Most of that time, probably about 15 years, I've been teaching nutrition. For all of that time and much longer, I've been researching nutrition. It's what I do all the time, is I research. So I wanted to get across what I've found to be important and what I've found to be useful for people. And also, I want anyone who reads this to be able to put this information into practice so that it's meaningful for them. It's not just some information that's interesting, or I'll try that one day and we'll see what happens. I want it to really be meaningful to all of you who read it. The next thing I put was I really want it to be engaging and accessible. And those two words came up so much today in the feedback that I've been getting from people. So that's just joyous. Thank you for that. I wanted it to be really grounded. You'll notice the tagline here, a thorough grounding in nourishment. So I wanted it to be really grounded in science and grounded in experience as well. There are something like 9 pages of scientific references at the back of the book, but to make it engaging and accessible at the same time. And I think I may have achieved that because Robin did say that it was scientific without being sciencey. I do get a bit geeky, but hopefully in a way that brings it to life, hence the title of the book, Nutrition Brought to Life. And finally, I really wanted it to be beautiful, and it is beautiful. So I'm really so happy with that. Don't know if you, I mean, there's some really beautiful pictures. The whole design, the font, everything is just stunning. And in fact, there's a stroke of genius here. So Alchimia, there are a couple of other books in print as well that have this theme running through. So Harvey, the publisher, he designs the contents page like this, so that with every chapter heading, there's a little miniature of the picture that belongs to that chapter. So there'll be a full page for each of these pictures that you can see here. So in terms of why the kind of book I wanted to write, I've already talked about that. I've actually wanted to write a book since I was 7, so it's taken me, well, I've just turned 50. I'm going to actually, not just anymore, it's been a while, so I'm well into my 50th year. So it's taken me 43 years to get this book out. It's been really worth the wait. I didn't write a book when I was 7. I remember really clearly standing in my back garden thinking, I'd love to write a book, but I don't have any life experience yet. I think I was quite a precocious child. I absolutely knew I didn't have anything to say yet. So I've been waiting to have something to say. And I really do believe that I'm at a time in my life where I've got something valid and important to put out there. So I hope you agree with that. It came about, yeah, sorry, I'm just lost in my notes. I made some really nice notes and I've not kept to the script, but that's okay. Oh yeah, so Debs and Harvey kindly asked me to write the book. It took me a while. Totally underestimated how much extra research I needed to do. I thought that I'd done all the research that I needed, but actually every sentence I wrote pretty much opened up a whole new wormhole. I just wanted to double check that I was still up to date, and then I'd find out new fascinating things. So the whole process of writing the book has been amazing and fascinating for me. And then I had to start looking for pictures and images, and that's when also I thought I need a new headshot for the book. And a really good, lovely old friend of mine, Anna Strickland, is a portrait photographer, heard in London photography. So I went for lunch with her. We had a really lovely time, and she's the only person I know who can make me relaxed enough to take a photograph that actually looks like me, that I'm happy with. So thank you for that, Anna. That was amazing. The food photography actually happened a bit earlier, and I have to tell you this story because there are 50 recipes in the back of the book. There aren't 50 photographs, but I made as many of them as I possibly could in about 3 days. And I had a photographer lined up to come in and do the shoot. Anne, I think Anne might be here somewhere. She very kindly agreed to help me out with the shoot. And then she put her back out, which she messaged me like a couple of hours beforehand, and I had a kitchen and a conservatory and a living room full of food ready to photograph. So I put a little shout out on social media, and up popped Leslie. Leslie Burdett Photography, you can find her at. Leslie, if you're there, pipe up. Can you unmute yourself and say something? She may be distracted. I know she's got her boys tonight. Okay, don't worry, I'll tell you all about Leslie. Anyway, she turned up she kind of looked at me and instantly knew what I wanted. And she spent the next 2 hours taking just the most amazing photographs. And she turned what was one of the most stressful processes of the book into one of the most enjoyable processes of the book. And I can't thank you enough. That was really wonderful. So if you need some good photographers, Anna at Heard in London and Leslie Burdett Photography, they are your women. So I think that's the thank yous over and the explanations. I'm just going to have a little slurp of water. Oh, I'm just saying, so lots of really lovely comments in the chat box. This is just, yeah, so lovely, all of you. Thank you. Brilliant. Oh, thanks, Bella. She's saying I'm a great advert for 50. So yes, I thought I'd read a couple of excerpts from the book. So if your book arrived today, you may have read some of the intro. Well, the intro's only short. You may have read it already. But I'm going to read it again now. So this is the introduction. This is the picture that goes with the introduction. So many years ago, nutrition helped bring me back to life. In return, I've spent the intervening years bringing nutrition to life. Firstly, by bringing the science of nutrition to life in consultations, workshops, colleges, describing how the sunshine that energizes the planet finds its way into every cell in your body, making everything that you think and do possible, recounting which parts of your food make up your bricks and mortar and which form the workers that make everything happen, how each of your body systems work, your heart, intestines, liver, hormones, immune system, how they interact with and form part of each other, and how what you can eat can influence all of that, all in ways that are easy to understand and that celebrate the wonder of it all, while keeping as true to the science and up to date with the research as I can. Secondly, by bringing nutrition more fully into people's lives in practical and realistic ways, with tips, ideas, recipes, and positivity, encouraging an awareness and appreciation of nutrition in everyday shopping, cooking, eating, snacking, and living, bringing delicious, simply prepared, wholesome food to the table, easing nutrition off the page into your kitchens and onto your plates. The passion behind all of this is a strongly held conviction that food is meant to nourish you, not just give you fuel, not make you feel inadequate or lacking in willpower, but truly nourish you. And here I've provided the Merriam-Webster definition of nourish, which is to provide someone or something with food and other things that are needed to live, to be healthy, etc., to cause something to develop or grow stronger. The word nourish summons up feelings of being loved and cared for, being wrapped in a blanket of flavours and colours and given deeply fulfilling sustenance. For too long, we've been treating our bodies like a slot machine. We count calories like we count our money and feed them in regardless of quality. We load up with sugar and carbohydrates as if they were tokens for energy and deprive ourselves of fat if we see too much on our bodies. It's all very black and white, very mechanical, but you aren't a machine. You are much more vibrant, dynamic, and colourful than that, and deserve a whole lot more. You deserve to be nurtured, suckled, fed, given everything you need to live, be healthy, develop, and grow stronger. You deserve to enjoy the textures and tastes of different foods, the sensations they evoke, and the different ways they make you feel. You deserve to absorb the nutrients and vitality they offer, carry them through every blood vessel, flowing to your brain, your heart, your lungs, your toes, helping you move through and interact with life to the full. You deserve to be nourished. In order to nourish yourself, you need to understand nutrition and you need to understand your body. So over the course of this book, I'm going to explain the fundamentals of nutrition, examining each nutrient in a way that makes it relevant to how your body works and how you feel. Along the way, I'll be painting clear pictures of how your digestion works, your hormones, your immune system, and your detoxification systems, how stress impacts your body, and how you can get everything relaxed, flowing, and full of vitality again. I'll also provide opportunities for you to reflect, make gradual changes, and try out some truly delicious, tried and tested recipes. You'll be forgiven for jumping straight to the recipe section at the back. And then I hope you'll enjoy not just the food, but also exploring why it's so fundamental to your physical and mental health. My wish is that this book brings nutrition to life for you and helps you weave nourishment into your everyday life. There it is. So that was the introduction, Nutrition Brought to Life by me, Kirsten Chick. Let's pause now. I may, if we've got time, read a little bit more, something a little bit more nerdy a bit later. But in the meantime, does anybody have any questions?
It's Jo here. What are you doing to celebrate?
Oh, this is it. This is my celebration. I'm basking in the glory of seeing all your wonderful faces and all of these amazing, beautiful comments. And I'm going to take some time off. So I'm going to practice what I preach a little bit. Jo, good question. Any other questions? Nathan's put, any top tips to introduce to children? Thanks, Nathan. That's a lovely question. So I love working with children. It's one of my favourite things because I find working with children really straightforward. I get really straightforward, clear answers from them when I ask them questions. So it's really easy to figure out what they like, what they want, and it's really lovely witnessing children feeling empowered. It's lovely witnessing adults feeling empowered by nutrition and what they can do for themselves, but it's even more wonderful when you see it happening so early with children and they can make connections so quickly. So I really I don't think children need anything special. I think they just need to be listened to. They need to be heard. They need to be given a voice. When people bring their children to see me, I ask them what they want. I ask them how they feel. I ask them what foods they like. I ask them what foods they don't like. And I take everything from there. So it's making them centre stage, really. So yes. So hopefully that answers your question. Great. Just scrolling through again. So Celia, I need to get more oils into my children. Flax is the best to start on, do you think? Well, it depends on the child and what they need. If they need some more kind of converted fats like EPA and DHA, if you've got no idea what I'm talking about, you will once you've read the book. So they may need something that's if they eat fish, something like fish oil instead, and you can get some really nice flavored fish oils now. So one of my favorite fish oils is Viridian's Scandinavian rainbow trout oil, and there's lots I like about the Viridian one. They're a really ethical company. They were completely vegan before they did this, so they wanted to make sure that they were getting their fish oil from an ethical, sustainable source, but they also flavor it with orange and citrus oils and rosemary oil, and it actually tastes quite nice. So it's quite a good one for children. But actually with children, it may be just enough to get oils from whole foods. Or there's another really great supplement that I recommend a lot for children, which is the Biocult Infantis, and it's a probiotic, EPA and vitamin D all in one. So that's a nice easy one, and it's a powder that you can just sprinkle on their food too. So yes, that's a good one. And then Darren, so I'm just going to take another little slurp. How do you nutritionally feed a sweet tooth? Fabulous question, Darren. So, sweet teeth. If you've got a sweet tooth, it's probably not just about willpower, actually. And nutrition, I like the way you've worded your question. How do you nutritionally feed it? We don't want to deprive it. We don't want to cut it off. We do want to feed that sweet tooth. So naturally sweet vegetables. So this evening for dinner, I've had some roasted sweet potato and beetroot and red onions and fennel, and there was a lot of natural sweetness in that. So really trying to shift towards those more grounding, nourishing, earthy vegetables is a really good idea. But also having a little exploration into why that sweet tooth is there. So is it because you just really like sweet things? Is it because there is something deep within you that's getting you to crave sugar? It might be a microbial imbalance or a gut bacteria imbalance, for example. It might be that you're not making energy efficiently, so your body's craving instant energy in the form of sugar, because it just feels that it needs more. If your blood sugar levels are up and down all of the time, it may be that when you get blood sugar dips, your body is craving that instant hit of sugar to bring you up again. Or it might be all of the above and more. Sometimes it's to do with disconnection. If we've kind of had the rug swept from underneath our feet by some kind of trauma, for example, and we're very disconnected, then we crave connection and comfort from sweet foods sometimes. So I would look to address all of those factors and then take things from there. What we definitely don't want to do is give ourselves a hard time about our sweet tooth or bury our heads in the sand about it. We need to make friends with it and accept it's there, and figure out what's going on and work with that. So thank you for that question, Darren. That was really lovely. Jojo. Hi, Joe. Where are you? I need to find your face on the screen. There's so many of you. I can't find Jojo. Joe, there you are. You're very dark. That's why I can't see you. I'm sitting in the dark. Joe, what was your favourite thing about writing the book, and what was most challenging? My favourite thing about writing the book was checking in with that 7-year-old Kirsten and saying every now and again, look, I'm doing it, I'm writing my book. That was my favourite thing. The most challenging was all of these wormholes of research, because I just wanted to get it right. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I really wanted to get it right. So literally every sentence I wrote took hours of research. And then I'd start questioning things, and then I'd come back, and then I'd revise my opinions, and it was all brilliant, and I loved it really. But that was really challenging, and that was one of the reasons it took so long to write. I think it was 5 years it's taken me to actually, from signing the contract to getting here. The other thing is proofreading. It's really challenging. I can see Deb's laughing. She did a lot of the proofreading as well. Between us, we must have done about a dozen proofreads of this book. So that was kind of, yeah, we did it. If anybody finds a typo, I don't want to know. You can tell Debs, just in case we do bring out a second edition, but I really don't want to know. So yes, they're that. So Nathan's asking about wormholes. Do you already have another book in your head? Yes, Nathan, I have about a dozen other books in my head. You're not going to stop me now. So I'm going to keep on writing. And at one point as well, because I thought my book would be a novel. I've spent all of my life thinking that when I write a book, it would be a novel. So at some point, I will write a novel, but it might be a bad novel. I think I might have written a good nutrition book, so I'm really happy with that. So now I can write my bad novel. So be prepared for that one. Julia is saying typos are huge fun anyway. You know, when Andy, my husband, and I are reading in bed, if either of us spots a typo in the book that we're reading, we shout out typo, and it makes me feel better. So it's not just me. Oh, Darren's saying bad novels make great movies. Excellent. So Dina, back to nutrition again. Hi, what oils would you recommend for adults? Well, Dina, let's see if I can find, you're off screen, that's fine. So oils for adults, again, it depends on the individual. I spend a lot of my time saying it depends. So it's probably the most frustrating thing. I don't apologize for that, but everyone's so different. Everyone really is. You are all unique. And some of you will need a different spectrum of oils for others than others, and different kinds of oils. So again, if you're after a good fish oil, the Viridian one is a good one. There's a company called Viscolia that make a really good oil. There are a few companies out there now. It used to be really hard to get hold of good fish oils. If you're veggie or vegan, then that's cool too, because these days you can get vegan EPA and DHA supplements. So that's really great. There's companies like Opti3, or there's a brand called Opti3. There's Nordic Nutraceuticals, I think, do one as well. There are plenty out there. Also look at your omega-6s like GLA and DGLA, so things like evening primrose oil, starflower oil, borage oil, those kinds of things too. Great. Any other questions? Let's have a scroll through the chat box. Joe's laughing, saying don't talk to me about typos. Joe brought out a great gluten-free recipe book a few years back, so she knows what it's all about. Gluten-free, refined, sugar-free recipes. Alan, good question, Alan. Over the 17 years, can you say what have been major changes of thinking on nutrition? There have been a few, actually. Okay, so oils, I think, is one thing, as we've just been speaking about oils, whether or not saturated fats are good or bad. The whole cholesterol question, I talk about that quite a lot in the book. So yes, and actually that's been debated for a lot more than 17 years, but it's become a lot more mainstream. So that's been really nice, that whole debate. Playing with things like fasting and ketogenic diets and paleo diets and vegan diets has also become a lot more mainstream. So I think that's the thing, really. I think everything has just become more mainstream and more acceptable. So it's never been a better time, really, because but also it's never been a more confusing time, because there are so many different approaches and takes on what you should do, how you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, all of those kinds of things. And that's something that I try not to do. I try not to say, you have to be ketogenic, or you have to be paleo, or you have to be vegan, or anything like that. I want to respect people's individual requirements and choices, and I want to encourage people to explore what really feels right for you. And I think that's been another thing, that approach in itself has also become more acceptable. There's been a lot in recent years about focusing on nourishing yourself and feeling what your body wants, and intuitive eating, and that's just wonderful. I'm so happy that's become a lot more prevalent. I'm just seeing new people like, hi Gemma, and hi Em, that I hadn't noticed before that are here, and hello Elaine. So yes, so I hope that's answered your question, Alan. Yvonne, oh hello Yvonne. Hi. Top tips for boosting immunity in these days of COVID. What level of vitamin D is enough? Well, half of this book is about the immune system, so there are loads of top tips in there, but I'm going to give you a couple of really quick ones. So in terms of vitamin D, how much is enough? Well, actually, it's really quick, cheap and easy to get a test now. Most GPs will give you a free blood test, but you can also send off for one. There are various places that do it online. It costs about 30 quid, and they send you a little kit. You prick the end of your finger or thumb, drip it on a bit of something, send it back, and they'll tell you your vitamin D levels, and you can figure it out from there. So that's how to figure out how much vitamin D you need, and then you can drop me a quick email and say, this is my level, how much do I need, and I'll let you know. Other top tips, I'm really interested in quercetin and luteolin, which are phytonutrients. Gosh, that's 3 long words in one sentence, sorry. So these are plant nutrients that you can get. So quercetin is in things like red onion, well, all onions, but especially red onions and apple peel and things like that. It's really similar to a substance called luteolin, and luteolin was discovered with SARS virus, and how it could block SARS virus. But instead of going down the path of researching luteolin more, the scientists started looking at quercetin because it was very similar in structure and already had a license to be sold. So there's still research underway. I'm not saying it's the cure for COVID or it's going to stop you getting anything like that, but in terms of actually how viruses interact with your cells, that's an interesting one to look at. And the other really lovely thing about quercetin is it's an antihistamine. So if whatever's going on with your immune system, if your immune system is overfiring and not calming down, so it might be an allergy like hay fever, for example, especially respiratory allergies, or it might be autoimmune conditions or post-viral fatigue type situations, then quercetin is going to be really helpful in calming it all down. So they're my 2 top tips of vitamin D and quercetin, along with all of the other usuals like vitamins A and C and E and selenium and zinc and so on. So just eat wholesome, wonderful food. So Annie is saying, asking, what's your go-to meal to cook when you've had a busy day? Oh gosh, I have quite a few actually. It might be, I really like just a simple salad with something. So last night we had a really lovely salad with some fresh salmon. We have salmon about once a week. We have meat about once or twice a year. The rest of the time with veggie. All the recipes in the back of the book are veggie, by the way. In fact, most of them are vegan. And I've had a busy day. Andy will be laughing. Andy, where are you? Because he's thinking, I know what you do. You do pizza. But I don't do it won't be just like standard pizza. It will be pizza with piles of vegetables on top. It would be an unrecognizable pizza. So yeah, that's probably it. Something I can just throw together really easily, or maybe a stir fry. I like to make I think I can call them curries, but they're kind of stir fries with lots of spices and coconut and things like that. So roasted vegetables like we had tonight with a bit of quinoa and tahini sauce. So those are, they sound like they're an effort, but actually they're so quick and easy to throw together. All my recipes are. I don't do long, drawn out, complicated recipes. So any other questions? Elaine, you're listening from a field in Norfolk. Brilliant. Hi. I hope you're camping there and you're not stranded. Nathan's saying there's nothing wrong with homemade pizza. James is asking, are all the recipes gluten-free? Yes, they are, James. Oh, sorry, that's Jane, not James. Hi, Jane. Oh, Jane and I trained in nutrition together many years ago. Oh, lovely to see you. So, yes, all the recipes are. I'm going to switch to the recipe section now. In fact, here we go. There's so many of them. Here we go. So there we go. 50 delicious recipes. We've got a soups section. There are 4 different soups there. Warm meals, so salads and wraps. There's a really lovely gram flour wrap recipe. I don't think I gave her enough credit, but Hayley North, who I've run a lot of retreats with, I have thanked her in the back of the book, and I did say she inspired some of the recipes, but I kind of half pinched the gram flour wrap recipe from Hayley. It's a really good one. So lots of salads and wraps and coleslaws. There are 3 different coleslaw recipes, a sauerkraut recipe. There are 4 salad dressing recipes, 3 sauces and pastes. There's a whole load of snacks and dips. There are 4 desserts. Now, Kelly, I know you made the super berry chia pot last night for dinner. Yeah, it was good. Excellent. Excellent. Thumbs up from Kelly. And then there are drinks and smoothies as well. So my favorite avocado smoothie recipe, if any of you have ever had a consultation with me, you've probably got my avocado smoothie recipe. There's also golden milk immune boosting hot chocolate. That has to be my favorite of the book. There's a linseed tea recipe, other teas and infusions. So yes, lots of recipes in the book. Joe, you're asking any plans on doing some cookery lessons relating to your books and teachings? Wow, I used to do a lot of cookery workshops. In fact, Jane has helped out with some of them. I've run cookery workshops with Nikki Edgell, who we trained with as well, or she trained at the same place as us. And with Hayley, I've run lots of cookery workshops. I don't know. I might be a little bit over running the cookery workshops for a little while, but I'm still happy to do one-to-ones with people. But watch this space. Never say never. But yeah, I'm always happy to give tips on cookery if anyone wants to do that. I do a lot of other workshops and courses though. I've got a few coming up. I've got, I run some of them through Evolution Arts. So their website is evolutionarts.org.uk. I've been running workshops and courses with them for donkeys years now, well over a decade. It's all online at the moment, so you can be anywhere in the world. And I've got one on Monday, actually, Monday afternoon. I'm doing an hour on stress resilience, which is, the most important thing. It all comes down to stress. Not many people appreciate how you can really resolve or work towards resolving stress through nutrition. There's a lot you can do with nutrition. So doing that on Monday. I've got a 6-week evening course coming up via Zoom as well in the autumn. And then I've got other workshops. I've got one on menopause. I've got one for people living with cancer. So just keep an eye on my website, which is connectwithnutrition.co.uk. It's all on there. Any more questions? Joe's saying I love a course. Joe's brilliant, by the way. She's my acupuncturist, and she's just launched Menopoised, which is a magnet you put on an acupuncture point to stop hot sweats and hot flushes and things like that. So yes, I don't know if you're still there, Joe. It's still pitch black where you are. I think that's all the questions from the chat box. Has anybody else got any questions? Do you please pipe up? You can either unmute yourself and ask, or you can type something in the box. Julia's saying very exciting. Oh, it's Joe from uni. Oh, sorry, it's that Joe. It's because it's so dark. I thought you were yes, you look identical to my acupuncturist when the lights are out.
Yeah.
Apologies, Joe. So I also teach on a Brighton University course. It's a complementary healthcare foundation degree course, and Joe's one of my students there. Hi, Joe. Sorry for the mistaken identity. Great. Okay. Well, there's another couple of things I wanted to mention before we finish up. Firstly, I know loads of you have already bought my book. I have to do this every time I mention my book. Thank you for that. If you need an extra copy for a friend or relative, you can either buy one or you can enter. There's been some really great competitions. So you've missed out, well, you may not have done, you may have hopefully taken part in the Midlife Hub competition. So the Midlife Hub are a really great new social enterprise about raising awareness of all things midlife. So health, finances, anything that men, women, all genders could come across at our stage in life. And they ran a competition, and I think they're announcing who gets to win on Friday this week. It might be tomorrow, but I think it's Friday. Do we have Rosie? I think Rosie.
I'm here, Kirsten.
Yeah,
Rosie's
hi,
just hi, congratulations. So Rosie's just come back from a very soggy field in Dorset, so she's drawing the winners tomorrow.
Bless her. So she's polling the winner tomorrow, and are you announcing it tomorrow or on Friday?
I believe Friday.
Great. So if you entered that, the first prize was a signed copy of the book and a free place on my menopause workshop. And then there are 2 runners-up prizes as well, of places on the menopause nutrition workshop. So thank you for running that competition. That was brilliant, and really, really excited to be part of the Midlife Hub as well, which are doing amazing things. Check them out. I've got another competition running at the moment with Biocult, which I'm really happy about. They're my favourite probiotic. I recommend them to so many people. I've been recommending them for years. They really liked the book. They really loved the chapters on the microbiome and how to nourish it. They thought it really aligned with what they were doing. So they chose the 3 supplements that I like the most and put together a bundle with my book. And actually they're giving 3 bundles away. So a book and a super large packet of their main one, the Biocult Advanced, a packet of the Biocult Infantis, the one I mentioned earlier for children with the omega-3 and vitamin D in as well. If you don't have kids, you can give that one away, or you can take it yourself, it's still good. And also they've got a new Saccharomyces boulardii one out, which you can read about in the book. I'll stop doing that now. I can see Tara's smiling, laughing, beautiful smile there. Tara from the Guarana Bar. So Tara and John, who are also, they run this amazing place, and they're amazing people. So the Guarana Bar on Sydney Street, if you don't know it, and they actually produce my favourite super green powder, and we are going to be running a competition at some point where you can win the book and some of Keen's supreme greens as well. So watch this space for that, and other events. I think I've mentioned everything that I wanted to say, except thank you for coming. Thank you for buying the book, and please spread the word. It doesn't feel big-headed with me to say this. I hope it doesn't come across as big-headed, but I do think this is an important book. I do think there's nothing like this out there, and I do think it would be wonderful to get it out there more. So if you could share it, tell everyone you know about it. If you've got any amazing press connections or endorsement opportunities or anything like that, please hook me up. I just really, this isn't about me. This is about the book. The book has a life and personality and spirit of its own, and without wanting to sound too hippie about it, I really want it to go out there and do well. So yeah, let's wish let's wish the book well. If you have a glass, let's raise a toast to nutrition brought to life. Thank you. Final question. So Julia Pilgrim. Hi, Julia. Good question. Are you selling it internationally? I'm going to put this question over, if you don't mind, to Harvey and Debs from Alchimia Publishing, who are my publishers. I've just unmuted you.
Can you hear us?
Yes. So are you selling it internationally?
We have a distribution company in the UK who supply the UK and Europe, and we have a distribution company based in California who supply North America and Canada. So that's your territories as things stand.
Yes. And brilliant, thank you.
It's going out to the whole of the world, so hopefully the more people see it, the more people will realise just how amazing it really is.
It's been a pleasure putting it together.
It's been an absolute
pleasure.
Lovely
journey.
It's a wonderful, wonderful book. A real treasure, and well done.
Well done,
Really
Kirsten.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, right again. Okay, so I'm just going to unmute everybody now. Has anyone got anything they want to say other than goodbye?
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
I wasn't kidding.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, Francis.
Congratulations.
Oh,
Three cheers for Kirsten Chick. Hip hip.
Question, but you can do whatever you want. I'll take it. Thank you. Well, brilliant.
Well done.
Well, thank you. That's all I can say, really. Thank you. Let's bring this to a close. Cheers, everybody, and goodbye. And enjoy the book.
Bye, Kirsten. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, Kirsten.
Bye.
Bye.